Why is Candace Owens trying to rehabilitate Harvey Weinstein? She flamed out of Daily Wire for taking a stand against Israel, but now she uses her platform to defend a Democrat pervert with ties to Israeli intelligence. So weird. I don't know. Didn't you say I was likely funded by Russia through the Tate brothers? Can't lie. It was definitely Putin that made me tell you that marriage was aspirational. Vladimir hits me up on WhatsApp and asks me to do the most random things, LOL. Candace has absolutely taken trips to Russia before on Russian dime and has gotten paid for those trips. I 100% know that. I don't know how much she talks about or anything, but that is absolutely true. I don't know how much that influences her current media take or anything like that, but...
You know, I can't say who.
Why not? Why can't you say who? What do you have to lose?
Because I'm not sure that I'm right. You
Can
know,
you say, I think? Maybe.
Now that was some real ass journalism. Jesus. Why wouldn't Candace fight with me this long when I blew her the out for faking her college education, which she absolutely did, by the way? Why is Candace Owens trying to rehabilitate Harvey Weinstein? Uh-oh, Jew. Wait, is she trying to rehabilitate Harvey Weinstein? She flamed out of Daily Wire for taking a stand against Israel, but now she uses her platform to defend a Democrat pervert with ties to Israeli intelligence. So weird. Okay. Stop. What's our girl up to?
Have you considered that it could be deeper, that there was somebody who wanted you put away, that there may have been someone who wanted your company? Because to me, there is just
Wait, what? I'm trying to think of what is the Candace Owens angle here. So she generally blames Jews on shit for controlling the media. Weinstein is like her perfect conspiratorial fall guy. He's a crazy Jew dude in charge of a lot of the media apparatus and movies and stuff that's trying to gayify and wokeify and transify all of our society. Probably from the Mossad or from Israel. Why would Candace be on his side? I'm so confused. Unless she's trying to take the angle of like all women complaining about being or molested or like, you know, forced to do sexual acts, all of that shit was fake. I feel like you'd care about the anti-Israel angle more than some weird feminist angle. I feel like that's so 2016. I don't know. All right.
There is just overwhelming evidence that you were set up here. It looks to me like a modern day hit. I don't know who you upset. I don't know what they were after, but it just looks to me like a rigged system and they took you out. To me, it looks like it was just a show trial and the outcome was already determined before you even stepped into that courtroom. I do think that you stepped on somebody's toes. Like there's somebody's toes that you stepped on that you may not have been aware of when you were in Hollywood because you had a lot of power.
Candace Owens does a lot of culture stuff, by the way. This is like your woman's entrance point into these weird alt-right spaces. I don't know if you know that. You ever are chatting up a cutie pie and you're like, oh, do you follow media stuff? It's like, oh, a lot of stuff. It's like, oh, do you ever look at like Joe Rogan? I'm like, no. What about like Daily Wire stuff? Do you know what Ben Shapiro is? Like, no. Oh, do you follow any kind of politics stuff? Like, not really, no. And it's like, oh, well, what do you think about like do you see like the Diddy trial stuff? Oh yeah, Candace covered that. Also, did you know that French Macron's wife is definitely a man? And I think that the MH113 flight flew into the, and it's like, oh shit, oh, hold on, wait, oh yeah, Candace Owens, she does so much culture stuff. Candace Owens covers a ton of pop culture stuff. I think it's probably her biggest thing. Like, we don't cover much on my stream, we don't talk about her, and it seems like she's like disappeared, but I don't think so. I think her culture stuff is still pretty popular, no? Oh God.
All right, you guys, Jeffrey
Harvey speaks. Exclusive interview on his retrial. Fucking Russell Brand. What a horror. Oh, and this guy hosts her show now. It's so cringe. Ugh. Okay, sorry.
You had a lot of power.
You know, I can't say who.
Why not? Why can't you say who? What do you have to lose?
Because I'm not sure that I'm right.
Can you say, I think? Maybe.
Now that was some real ass journalism. Do you know who did it? Well, I don't want to say because I'm not sure. We'll just say I think this person did it.
That I'm right.
Can you say, I think? Maybe. I really want to push you on this point, Harvey, because I think it's very significant. I mean, you had the greatest movies that were in Hollywood. You had a lot of power, and I'm wondering if there was anybody in Hollywood.
Wait, what were Harvey Weinstein movies even? I actually have no idea. Are these movies that I liked? Oh no. Pulp Fiction? As a producer though, right? What do producers even do? Do we even give a fuck? Never mind, don't care.
That you may have been fighting with at that time. That just anything that could have been going on. Because I think there's something bigger happening here.
There wasn't a fight per se, but the establishment, I would not say, was my friends.
Right. And what is the establishment in Hollywood?
It's normally the big studios, but I can't say that they were part of this.
Right.
Because he also doesn't... Well, how long is he in jail for? Harvey Weinstein Wikipedia. Let's go back. Wait, this is a question for AI. When does Harvey Weinstein get out of jail? He is currently serving a 23-year sentence in New York for a 2020 conviction. Damn. Which was later overturned. And he served a 16-year sentence in California for a 2022 conviction. Damn. The New York conviction has been overturned and a retrial is scheduled. Oh, this guy doesn't want to say any retarded shit before his retrial. That'd be really bad. He pushed hard to get everything everywhere all at once greenlit. Oh no. And we put him in jail for how long? Wait, what exactly did this guy do again? Just kidding. Stop. Oh, damn, he's 73. Good luck.
I'm just wondering, like, who in the end, who owns all those movies now? Who owns your catalog? What happened to your company?
We sold the catalog to a company called Be-In, you know what I mean, which is owned by the Qatari government, and we sold the other part of the library to a company called Spyglass.
Qatar, we don't like talking bad things about Qatar and Russia and stuff, so sorry, try again.
And Lantern, which is owned by the Saudi Arabian government.
Very interesting. I'm asking these questions because my investigation into this isn't going to stop.
You think he knows that she's trying to pin it on the Jews? Is he totally clueless here? I have no clue. Sometimes I wonder when I watch people. Remember back in 2016, it was constantly Twitter is not real life, Twitter is not real life. And then as time has gone on, real life has turned into Twitter, right? It actually is real life, unfortunately. Sometimes I feel like I've spent so much time in like these weird Nazi circles or these weird things that, and then we spend so much time covering other political people that it's like very obvious in my mind to see how people are politically. But some people seem to miss that a lot. Actually, even people in my community. Like when I said I think Hassan is more likely to genocide the Jews than Myron is, like it seems like, I don't know how many of you guys, but some percentage of you got really ass paying. He's like, oh, you just hate Hassan and that's why you're saying that. Blah, blah. It's like, well, no, the ideology is like very obvious. Like Myron would want to kick all the Jews out of the US, maybe kill them, I guess. And then he would say, fuck it, he didn't give a fuck. Hassan would want to destroy the country of Israel, even if that meant a genocide of the Jews, 100%. These are just like ideological things that I feel like are pretty obvious. Another really obvious one that I was so surprised was Ted Cruz going on to talk to Tucker Carlson. Like there has to be a lot of lack of understanding of what these people are politically if Ted Cruz thought he was going on to that for like just a super friendly interview, especially related to Iran. That's just wild to me. But I don't know if the staffers don't watch enough or if the people don't watch enough or if there's some like trickery there or what, but maybe it could be that Harvey Weinstein, like, well, another thing too, you kind of have to know life this shit. Like you can't, like you really have to be in here to understand the dog whistles and to understand like the wordplay and to understand what people really mean when they say a thing. It's pretty hard, I guess, if you're not living and breathing all this autistic shit. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so Nick Fuentes says, why is Candace Owens trying to rehabilitate Harvey Weinstein? She flamed out of Daily Wire for taking a stand against Israel, but now she uses her platform to defend a Democrat pervert with ties to Israeli intelligence. So weird. I don't know. Didn't you say I was likely funded by Russia through the Tate brothers? Can't lie. It was definitely Putin that made me tell you that marriage was aspirational. Vladimir hits me up on WhatsApp and asks me to do the most random things, LOL. Candace has absolutely taken trips to Russia before on Russian dime and has gotten paid for those trips. I 100% know that. I don't know how much she talks about or anything, but that is absolutely true. I don't know how much that influences her current media take or anything like that. But so your answer is, I don't know. I'm not the only one wondering why you would use your platform to rehabilitate a Mossad-connected Democrat pervert. But just last week, I was tagged in a clip of you claiming it was Russia that was backing me. Do you think it's the Mossad now? The Israelis say it's Qatar that's funding me. So at this point, I really don't know. Everyone is wondering why you crashed out on your boss Ben Shapiro just so you could rehabilitate a degenerate Zionist like Harvey Weinstein, especially after your little Frankist stunt last year. It's all just a bit suspicious. Hopefully you can reassure us. Thank you. I think the best way to handle this is for you to post a clip screaming, I'm a real man again, and refer to me as a bitch a few more times to really prove it. Because if a man is calling a woman a stupid bitch, is he even really a man? I think not. This is the way forward. Why don't you put the phone down and go make me a sandwich? And then once you've calmed down and collected yourself, explain why you are trying to help Harvey Weinstein and convince us that it's the Frankists and not the Jews. I'm literally shaking right now. How will I ever survive being told to go make you a sandwich? You really are setting an example for real men everywhere. I'm trying my best to calm down and collect myself, but I'm a woman, so give me time. Do you know the Frankists lore? I feel like the Frankists were tied into the Jew. Is this something related to fucking communism a long time ago or something? I feel like I've heard Candace bring this up before. I don't remember. Oh no, not at all. Frankism was a Sabbatian religious movement originating in Rabbinic Judaism of the 18th and 19th centuries. Created in Podolia. What the fuck is that? Is a historic region in Eastern Europe. Okay. It was named after its founder, Jacob Frank. Frank completely rejected Jewish norms, preaching to his followers that they were obligated to transgress moral boundaries, embracing antinomianism. Antinomianism is any view which rejects laws or legalism and argues against moral, religious, or social norms. What? Okay, I don't know. This sounds autistic as fuck. Okay. Take all the time you need. Turkey, provolone, lettuce, and tomato, please. Easy mayo, thanks, hun. What? Okay. I'm sorry, I hurt your I don't like this. I feel like this is a bad sandwich. Sorry. I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. Everyone can see that you are totally not a raging bitch. The thing is, I'm just not myself when I'm hungry. That's why I need a sandwich. Is that the joke from the Snickers commercial? So good. Keep going, Nick. Total annihilation cope ratio, bro. No way I can survive this. True, you seem totally unbothered right now. Look, I'm not trying to annihilate you. I just want to keep pushing Harvey Weinstein, the Frankists on us, but you're being really defensive. What? Why am I reading this? To be honest, the walls are closing in on me. You're too close to covering how me, the Tate brothers, Israel, and Russia are working together to bring down France.
Candace Owens.
Yeah.
I don't have a big problem with her. And I think she's doing good work. She's bringing a lot of people around to the truth. And she throws in a lot of nonsense about Brigitte Macron and other stuff I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I think that's nonsense. But
Yeah, that is. She's saying that this dude is married to his dad.
yeah, that the French president's wife is not just a transgender man, but is also his father. He's married to his, and I'm like, you lost me. I mean, that's a little out there.
I have multiple, half of them ex now, real life friends, by the way, who believe this, by the way. I don't know how pervasive this is on other parts of the internet, but Jesus Christ.
But so I don't.
I hadn't heard about the dad thing, but in terms of people that listen to Candace Owens, like just in passing, that believe the 100% that Macron's wife is a man, that is super pervasive, I guess, among some people, or at least, yeah.
I hate her.
It's so funny how that's the line for you, though. Like,
Well, because that's crazy. Like that's,
dude,
you lost me.
you're
with-
funny to me. That's the line.
I've heard that the Michelle Obama is a man thing. The Michelle Obama thing is like, she's got broad shoulders, so she must be a man. That's that. But Candace is like a whole ass. I think didn't Candace do like a 7-part series on how Macron's wife is actually his brother or is a man or something? Like she has gone way further. Candace Owens, I think, is on record saying, "I will stake my entire professional career and reputation on Macron's wife being a man." Like for some reason, she's massive on it. Yeah, and Macron is suing Candace now for this.
No. That.
I mean, come on. He's married to. Maybe she's transgender, but she's his dad. Come on.
It's insane.
I mean,
It's a little insane.
that's a little out there. And I have my reasons for why I think she's pushing that. I don't know how sincere that is, but
What do you think that is? Why do you think she's pushing that?
I honestly, this is going to sound maybe equally crazy, but I think it's like Russian propaganda because France is Russia's mortal enemy right now for a variety of reasons. Because France is pushing the Ukraine war harder than anybody, and because Russia is overthrowing all of France's.
France wants the Ukraine war harder than anyone. You're
Yes.
saying? Okay.
They want their troops in Ukraine. There are their troops in Ukraine.
Okay.
And Russia is overthrowing all of the French allied governments in Africa.
Why doesn't Nick seem to simp for Russia? So not to do the whole fucking, like, I hate lefties or whatever, but for people like Nick is an America first guy who does believe there are foreign enemies that would try to destroy us and who would want to do everything he could for America to overcome those foreign enemies. Now, one of those foreign enemies just also happens to be the Mossad in Israel, and which is why Jews controlling our culture and banks and all that are bad too. Also, he's read more on a lot of these things, and even if they're kind of retarded, if as long as Israel's not involved, he'll probably have like a decent understanding of the foreign policy issue, just based on what I've heard him say. Now, once Israel gets involved, then the brains break.
Which France relies on. So they're like suffice to say, they're mortal enemies right now. And I think, why would somebody be so...
He was simping for Putin and Russia a lot in like 2022. He just pivoted Israel stuff now. I don't know if I would say that he was necessarily simping for Russia and Putin, more so that because a lot of these America First types, whether you're talking about MAGA or the neo-Nazis or whatever, don't want us to be involved at all in any international conflict. And as a result of that, they will argue for peeling back NATO. They will argue that Ukraine is corrupt and horrible. They might even argue some pro-arguments related to Russia, but it's not because they're pro-Russia. It's just because they really don't want the U.S. to be involved. And then in terms of being the Russia simp stuff, the simping that a lot of these types, it also infected a lot of the manosphere movement too. The reason why they simped for the Russian types is because Russia and Putin, they come across as like strong men. And these types of like authoritarian fascist types love the strong man archetype. So like you hate feminism and you hate like gay culture and LGBT stuff and woke stuff, and you're strong on your religion and all that shit. Now the reality of the situation doesn't matter, right? How strong do they actually stand on this? How strong are these men? It's just the attitude. And that was the thing that they were very simpy for. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's ever a world where Nick would be like, yeah, I think I would move to Russia. I think Nick would just say Russia does some things that we need to start doing in this country again.
Fixated on Macron, of all people, the French president. What does that have to do with us? And there's this salacious scandal. So, and one of the things this is maybe a bridge too far for you or for the audience, but one of the things I've really learned over the time that I've been doing this, in addition to the rabbit hole of Israel and the Jewish religion and the rest of it, is the extent to which so much of the media is involved with the intelligence agencies. And so maybe 2 years ago, I didn't believe any of that. Now, I think that the Russians, and to an extent, yes, the Qataris, the Emiratis, the Saudis, the Turks, the Israelis, they all have a hand in a lot of the media. And the Tenet thing was a huge scandal. You remember Tenet Media, where Tim Pool and Lauren Chen and Dave Rubin, they were getting $10 million from the Russians.
Confirmed.
Yes, from Russia. And it was a huge scandal. And
I hate that. Is it Bradley Martin asks that? Like, that's like a huge revelation. Like, confirmed? Really? Yeah, like it's, they didn't even contest it, dog. Oh my God. Oh, I wonder how much he knows about like the Hunter Biden, the Joe Biden crime family, and didn't know that. It wasn't even like contested. They were just like, yeah, we got that money, but we were victims. We actually got with that money. We were non-consensually given all that money from Russia.
that and other things kind of woke me up to the overlap. Now, that's a theory. That's pure speculation with Candace. That's my hunch. I haven't done a deep dive on that, and I have no proof of that. But you just try to, like we were talking about earlier, how do you discern? Why is she going so hard against the French president? You say, well, who has it out for France right now? You say, well, Russia. And who else has it out for France? Well, France just recognized Palestine's statehood.
And I saw that, and I saw it was a long tweet that just seemed to be like, there needs to be peace and all this stuff, right?
And that's what the Israelis said. They said, you are rewarding terrorism. You're on the side of the terrorists. You're going to get Israel annihilated. They said you're crusading against Israel to destroy Israel for saying he recognizes Palestinian statehood. Now, France historically has always been hypercritical of the neocons. He was, not Macron in particular, but France was against the war in Iraq. They're against any campaign against Iran. They're pro-Palestine. They're against Israel's involvement in Lebanon. So and what you realize is that Israel and Russia are very tight for the reasons we talked about earlier.
I didn't hear that part of Israel and Russia being very tight.
Because there is such a big Russian Jewish diaspora that left Russia to go to Israel.
In like the 1800s. I mean.
So Russia and Israel are like this. Russia.
This is what I mean. Like as soon as Israel becomes involved, it becomes like brain broken and fucking retarded, I guess. So, okay.